Okay, we're live.
All right, great. So let's go through the standard operating procedure. We have notes up. I'll call attendance and then I'll kind of explain what's up. I'm Dan Shaw, D Shaw, organizer of the User Feedback Initiative, and Tierney.
I'm Tierney Siren. I'm co-chair of the community committee, Node.js community committee, and I'm a developer advocate at NodeSource. And I'm showing up as Node.js Foundation just because I'm running.
That's Tierney.
Yes.
Predictably light duty meeting. I wanted to go ahead and hold this meeting today because of the benchmarking working group survey. We decided in the user feedback meetings to go ahead and get the benchmarking working group survey built out and published over the holidays. The benchmarking working group reached out back in October to somebody. It predates the user feedback initiative. So we reached back in October. We'd like input. We'd like to get feedback from the broader Node.js user base. And back about a month ago or so, we started the user feedback initiative, and we brought the benchmarking working group survey with the assistance of the Node.js Foundation. Greg Wallace set it up and set up SurveyMonkey for us. So I'm going to share the screen here and GitHub, amazing television. So here's the benchmarking working group survey issue and user feedback. And if we go from there, there's the URL for the benchmarking working group survey. Really nice, built out. If I've hit this 3 or 4 times. If you hit this page and it looks terrible, turn off your ad blocker. I'm sure you've gone crazy over this, Tierney. With the ad blocker. I know this is something that you hold dear, but that's what it is. It's your ad blocker. The actual survey site looks nice, so that's what's going on. Please feel free to create issues and anything. I personally found the Node.js user survey a bit long. It was exacerbated a lot by the fact that I think I went through with ad block on. So I wasn't getting any of the sort of assistive UI. So it was really ugly, and
that might explain why it was ugly for me too.
Right.
I might not have turned it off.
So learn that in building out the survey along the way. So a few questions here, some open-ended questions, very, very technical. I'm excited to balance out, if you look at what the Node.js Foundation and NPM Inc.'s surveys are trying to accomplish, those are really trying to set a baseline of business, market understanding. You hear our market, we're sort of identifying folks and getting a better understanding of what the constituency is. And this benchmarking survey is very much a technical overview and a desire to get feedback from folks building Node.js apps across the industry, and capture that context, so the benchmarking group can really be measuring today's Node apps. We have the inspiration of the V8 team, who's really drastically changed their focus on how they optimize the developer experience for Chrome developers and V8 developers. that is fueled by the insight of the broader JavaScript ecosystem and sort of optimized as much as possible to that broad reality. The fact is, with the open source project Node.js, we don't have universal telemetry. We don't have phoning home. We don't know what's going on inside of your application, so we have to rely on your feedback to make that possible. So I invite you to check out the benchmarking working group survey to provide feedback here on issue 22 and user feedback, and help us. At this point, we've prepared the survey. We're reaching out to the community and the evangelism working group inside of the Node.js project to share the share the information that the survey exists, and we need to disseminate this. We'll probably run this for just over a month, and I know the benchmarking worker group is excited to see that input and get your feedback.
Awesome.
Then I don't really want to go into schedule for next year. I want to get this out. So Tierney, I pinged Zibby, and the reality of us being in the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
No expectation that folks are around, doing things or promoting, the project. I guess both you and I out evangelizing things. If you can take a second to tweet about the survey, that'd be great.
I'm just literally doing it right now.
Awesome.
Yeah. So another thing you can do, I know the Node.js Foundation or the Node.js account has been active a little bit. They usually just enable you to just DM them directly.
Sure.
I usually send them a tweet with some content that they should either share or retweet or something. So that's usually a good way to get in touch, even if you don't know who's being active right now. I know Zibby and Tracy used to handle it. Tracy's no longer at the foundation, and Zibby is on holiday, I believe. Just looking at the issue after the holidays, Greg asked if she could put it out on Twitter. So if just ping it, and whoever's actually managing it could probably help.
Cool. Well, great. So we are back with the Node.js feedback group on, I believe the 12th is our next meeting. And we'll continue this. William Kapke, individual director, had... Yes, the 12th. Had hoped to do, the first of our sort of public feedback sessions, in terms of how we're seeing our meetings lay out. We're on a biweekly, so every 2 weeks we meet on Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. We've kind of anchored that time. As our group grows, we'll get into more crazy schedules like the TSE and their omni around the world time zone. But we get together every 2 weeks, and we're going to start having sessions that have actual end users on that. So we have sent out some messages inviting folks to self-identify and to engage, and we've gotten a couple dozen feedback from that. William Kapke was you're going to try to get a session for the 12th around new users that had just started using Node, but unfortunately he won't be available on the 12th. So we'll run a normal meeting, continue the promotion of the benchmarking working group. And then we have a enterprise group session that Michael Dawson is coordinating in February. So we're going to have a public meeting in this forum where we'll have end users providing feedback through this foundation mechanism. So excited to kick that off as we head into 2018.
Dan, I actually did have a question. I just remembered someone asked me about the surveys. What was the data protection kind of rules that we established in last meeting? I'm not sure if we documented that anywhere outside of the meeting.
We didn't, right? Okay. So data protection, we have basically relied on the abstraction of the Node.js Foundation, right? Okay. So we leaned on Greg Wallace of the Node.js Foundation to create the survey on behalf of the user feedback initiative. And so that way, the data lives in the foundation. So any personally identifying information is captured sort of in official foundation employee space, and then we will go and basically ask for that data. Okay. So I'll document that. Yeah, we took the sort of easy path for now. Mm-hmm. Mostly because we're unsure about what data we should protect, and a little bit trepidatious about just sort of taking whatever data comes in and pushing it out as would our sort of natural gesture in the Node.js project to GitHub, right? Yeah. Like normally we there's a data that comes in, we take it, we commit it to GitHub, and off we go. Yeah. And so we've decided not to do that just because we know we're learning, the Node.js Foundation employees have employment contracts with the foundation, and that's best guess for now.
Okay, great. Sounds right. Good.
Yeah. I think we will have the opportunity to get more sophisticated. But these sort of shared identity things, before we went live, Tierney and I were commenting on the Node.js Foundation calendar, and getting access to that in Google. Google Calendar is a bit of a pain, we'll work towards a way to do that better.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
Great. Yeah, that's a good that's worth putting up on the the core context of how we do things, because it's one of those big problems.
Yeah, and it does seem like it's something we want to iterate on eventually once we get more definition around that. Okay, cool. Sounds good.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks, Tierney, for taking the time out of your holiday to get this set up. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Go to issue number 22 and user feedback, and check out the benchmarking work group survey, and share it around, especially if you have friends and colleagues with large Node.js deployments. Be keen to get that feedback.
Great. Thanks.
Bye. Everybody. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.